Hey, hi, hello. It's the Jesse LaSala Show. Episode 33. My guest today, stand-up comedian, best-selling author, actor, podcast host, Brandt Tobler. How say you, sir?
What up? I'm good. How are you?
I'm chilling, man. I started drinking early today because I was nervous to have you on.
Oh,
you know, I'm a
nice.
big fan.
What'd you drink? What are you drinking?
So down here in Louisiana, we have a Beta strawberry lager, and it's not that bad.
Damn, I want to start drinking early. I got a bunch of stuff to do, or I would. I'm about to get snowed in out here, so I'm going to be drinking all weekend.
Oh, shit. See, okay, I'm about to install my window unit in my goddamn room because it's so hot down here, swamp-ass Louisiana, and I would do anything for snow. I just left New York because of the goddamn pandemic, and I hate sweating. That's the worst part of being a human being.
I agree with that. But it's we're supposed to get like 30 to 36 inches, so it's going to be a mess.
Oh, yeah. See, then pipes start to burst. And
yeah.
Fuck that.
People are buying everything from the grocery store. It's going to be a mess, and I got to go to Wyoming. So I'm already anticipating being stuck in Wyoming for a couple days, but what are you going to do?
Yeah. Well, I wish you luck with that, but
thank you.
So I don't want to call myself a comedian because I've never been paid to do it yet, but I'm an open micer, and I know for you it must be fucking killing you not to be able to go on stage as much as you would like to be, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. And you're definitely a comedian. How many times have you done open mics?
More than 100.
Oh yeah, you're 100% a comedian. Yeah, man, it's been shows are starting to pick back up now, but it was rough, man. I went through. I never dealt with any kind of depression or anything. I'm pretty happy-go-lucky dude, and I think that this was the first time, like mid-pandemic, I was like, this sucks, man, because I was going to shows pretty much every night, so it was just changing my whole routine, and so it's been hard. It's starting to pick back up now, but yeah, it sucks, man. I can't really do anything else, so I play pickleball all day now. That's it.
All right, yeah, I've heard you talk about this. I feel like a stalker almost because I listen to your life through your podcast almost. So it's like,
no, I appreciate it.
It's like I know you, but it's kind of weird dynamic. But still, what the hell is pickleball? Explain it to me and the listeners.
So pickleball is the most popular sport. Oh no, wait, that's not right. It's the fastest growing sport in America. That's like the annoying thing that anyone plays pickleball will tell you. But it's like tennis on like a shorter court with a shorter net. So it's just like it's like a mini tennis is the best way to describe it. So it's been fun to play. It gets me out doing stuff. And I used to play basketball a lot, but I broke my wrist, I broke my collarbone, my ankles hurt. So this has been good for me to be active without, well, hopefully I won't get hurt, but it's a little less risky of getting hurt. So it's been, it's just fun. It's super addicting. And I just like it because, with hoops, you got to get a bunch of guys to play, or sometimes you play with people you don't want to play with.
Exactly.
Pickleball's pretty chill, and so we go there and we play in the afternoons, and everybody brings beer, and it's just kind of a chill thing. So it's very lame, but anyone watching that plays pickleball will understand. It's like so fun, but if you don't play it, you're like, what kind of nerd shit is this? But then if you try it, you'll be like, oh, this is pretty fun. So yeah, it's cool, man. It gives me something to do. I bought a Peloton because I got fatter. I shouldn't say fat. I was already fat, but I got fatter during this pandemic. So, and what's crazy? I almost got in a fight at pickleball the other day. I want to know what you think about this. I'm playing. So this guy shows up and he doesn't have a racket, and he's just like standing on the court trying to reserve the court. And these older ladies want to play, and he won't let them play. So I go over there and I say, hey man, get off the court. Let these women play. And he's like, mind your business, you fat ass. Damn. And then, but he is fatter than me. And I was like, you can't say you're fatter than me. And I was like so confused that he called. And it's so weird the time we live in. because when he called me fat, everybody was like, "Whoa," and
Slow
I was
down,
like, 'cause
buddy.
I'm not like full fat, but I'm chubby, like I'm 6 foot, like I think I'm like 205, so I'm not like riding around, on a scooter fat, but it was just so funny. But so yeah, that's the highlight of my pickleball life. But so I don't know what I'm talking about, but I got a Peloton. I'm excited about that. My whole life has changed to Peloton and pickleball.
Dude, I mean, those are essentials if you think about it. You're an essential
Yeah.
worker at this point. You're working off a little gut. You're fighting off. You're protecting old ladies, is what I heard from that
That's
story.
right.
And I look at you as a modern day hero. Let's be
I
honest.
appreciate it. I
Yeah.
appreciate that. I'm trying my best out here to. I'm the worst superhero ever.
Are you okay? So, have you proposed to your woman yet?
I haven't. I'm going to. So what happened was I was going to, and then she kind of caught me. Well, she was like taking a nap, and then I was like, "Hey, get up, let's get ready." And she was like, it was like a Tuesday, and I had dinner reservations and everything. But then so then she was kind of like in a little haze, and she's like, "Are you gonna propose to me?" And I couldn't like hide it on my face, and I was like, And she's like, "You're gonna propose to me, aren't you?" And I was like, Not now, I'm not." So I had a plan, and then she caught me, and then so now I think I'm gonna do it. I think I'm going to do it next week. So on our very first date, she came to one of my comedy shows, and then I got in the car with her, and then she ran into a pole, like just smoked a pole, boom, and my head hit the windshield. I thought I got a concussion.
Oh, shit.
And then she hit it so hard that the door on my side of the car, I couldn't even get out to check on it. I was like stuck in because she rammed into this pole so hard. So, and she was like, got back in the car, and we drove the car off the pole. And then she's like, I was like, "Is everything all right?" She's like, "Yeah, we're not going to let this ruin a good time." And then we went and had a great first night. So I think I'm going to propose next to the pole where that she ran into. That's my newest plan because it's hard. I never proposed. I don't know what to, I don't know what to do. I've always wanted to be special, but it's hard to be special now because I guess I should just be more creative, but that's kind of what I've come up with, what I'm going to try to do now.
Okay, so I say you rent a car and actually crash into that same pole. It could be problematic, it could be dangerous, but it would really set the mood, I think.
It's funny, I got to rent a car right now as you say that. Just crash this bitch right and boop.
Yeah, man, come on. And then you get the what if like the airbag pops out and there's a ring on the end of it, and it's like you just throw your shoulders up and you're like, "What's up?"
Yeah, well, yeah, and then I just get down on a knee, like in the car, like
awkwardly,
like I'm picking up her phone that fell down, and "Oh yeah, here's your phone, and will you marry me?" I like the commitment.
I had the worst proposal ever, actually, because I was in New York with my beautiful fiance. Well, she wasn't my fiance at the time, but I had it all planned out that we were gonna go to like this beautiful. It was like under Brooklyn Bridge, and like it's like this perfect stone street, and it has the perfect view of the bridge, and that's where I wanted to do it. And then the COVID hit, and I was like we were all shut in, we were all freaked out about it, and so I ended up just doing it. Like I think I was in the middle of a Madden game on PlayStation, and I was just like, "Baby, will you COVID marry me?" And I think that was actually like the true test because we were like locked in. And, it's like if you can get through a whole pandemic lockdown, I think that's the one, right?
For sure. I know 5 or 6 couples that didn't even make it. Like I was supposed to be a groomsman in the wedding, and then he was like, he originally called. He's like, "Hey, the wedding's canceled because of COVID." Then he called like a month later. He's like, "No, this wedding's just canceled forever." But then they actually got back together. You know what happens a lot with my friends is, wait, so you're engaged right now?
Oh yes.
Wait, have you set a date?
It's gonna be around this time next year. So
nice. Well, congratulations, first of all.
Thank you.
But yeah, so a bunch of my friends like broke up during the pandemic, and then they don't realize how hard it is to like date now. And then they go out and try to date, and then they can't get laid anymore, and then they just go back to the girl that they. My girlfriend thinks there should be like a national holiday where, like, if you're miserable, everybody just breaks up on the same day, like on like a Tuesday, and then Uh, so then you go into the weekend. That weekend, everybody knows you go out Friday, Saturday, but it's all single people now,
Right.
and get it started. So
The
I
whole
always thought
world
that
is
was a good
just
idea.
the whole world's a big disco at that point. It's just like,
Yeah,
hey, what
yeah,
do you do? You grab a tit, you grab an ass. I don't know.
yeah. So I'm gonna do it, and then I'll be out the game for. I mean, hopefully, I don't. I come from a bunch of divorces, so I think statistically, but I mean, I'm 43, so I probably should have had a divorce or two by now. So I'm hoping at this point I'm good because my girlfriend's really I have a great girlfriend, so I'm hoping I don't fuck this up.
Yeah, no, she sounds like a keeper, man, from
Yeah,
what I've heard. So, are you sad that you haven't like gotten married or had kids by now?
it's one of those things. I never really cared because I think I'm technically. I mean, I'm not technically. I am 43. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm 43, but I
Well, technically
still like.
30.
I'm like a childish dude, like I get on my scooter and I ride over and play pick. I'm like a little kid. They hang out with their friends. So it doesn't really hit me how old I am. And then, what really hit me was on my 40th birthday. I didn't even care. I don't ever even think about my age or anything. And then on my 40th birthday, everyone makes such a big deal out of it. They're like, you're 40. And then that day I was like, God damn, I'm 40. And then, so a lot of times if I sit and reflect, like I wanted to be like a PE teacher and a high school basketball coach. And I always thought I'd have kids by like 23 or, I've always wanted kids. So in a weird way, life just kind of flown by. And now I'm 43 and I'm like, I still want kids. And my girlfriend does too. So we're trying to hopefully make that happen. But sometimes I do think about it like, God, I'm going to be like the old dad. If I have a kid right now, I'll be 60 on their 18th birthday. But I think it's different now because, a lot of more people are having them older dudes. A lot of dudes are having older. I know for women, they don't really have a choice. They have to do it, when they can. But for
Whatever.
dudes, yeah. So I don't know. But yeah, to answer your question, I try not to think about it because I'm like, I don't know. I mean, would I trade it? I live this. I think I might have done it right because I got to travel the world and chase my dreams, and now I can hopefully start a family. When so many of my friends are like started a family young, and they're like, I wish I could do what you're doing. I lived through you. I think it's so cool you to do all this. So I'm always rooting for you. So hopefully I timed it right, but who knows? But maybe my old man dick's not going to work, and I'm going to miss out on having kids,
Oh
which
no.
would crush me because I've really always wanted to have kids. It's just something I'm really good with kids, and so that's another thing. Anytime I'm around my friends' kids, they're all like, "God, you'd be the best dad. You should have kids." I'm like, well, it takes two. It's not always up to me.
Right, right.
I got to put this ring on first, and then Shara wants to get married. I don't know if she wants to be pregnant during it's just it's just stuff I never even thought of. I've lived my life selfishly probably these first 40 years. I just did whatever I want, but now I'm trying to take care of my future fiance, almost fiance. I don't know if that's a term. And
Yeah.
then hopefully a baby.
Yeah, man, it's weird. It's like a Rubik's cube. When you find the right person that you want to be with, then you have to start doing the Rubik's cube because it's like,
Yeah.
oh shit, okay, so I have to balance this, and then I have to turn this way, and then I forgot about this part, and then it's just like,
Yeah.
and you're never
Yeah.
actually gonna get all four side or all, it's never gonna happen. But you have to keep on spinning it, and it's kind of
Yeah.
fucked up.
Well, that's a perfect analogy. I like that. And especially because I was a guy, I could never do a Rubik's Kid when I was little. And I would just take the stickers off and put them around and like cheat. And I can't cheat anymore. I can't just cheat on my Rubik's Cube. I got to figure this out. So I think that's a great analogy. So I'm slowly doing it. I'm just trying to get this first side together, which I think would be marriage. And then hopefully we can work on the other ones.
Yeah, it's a good first step. Who the hell cares? All right,
Yeah.
so are you a vaccine skeptic? Now, getting the vaccine obviously would get you on your path back to going on the road and doing shows and
Yeah.
everything. So, what's your stats with that?
It's funny. It kind of ties into the last question because so my girlfriend's a hairstylist, so then she has a ton of people to sit in her chairs and tell her crazy shit. Sometimes they're smart, sometimes they're not. I don't ever know what to think, but so I was very pro-vaccine. I still am pro-vaccine because my whole life, I made money so I could go to sporting events and concerts, and that's what made this last year hard, and then plus be a comedian. But my girlfriend's a little worried about like birth defects and stuff like that. So we're still going. I'm gung ho to get it, and then she's like anti get it. So we're trying to meet in the middle. But I would like to get it, and being from Wyoming, I could get it very easily. So it's something we're still trying to figure out. But yeah, I just want my regular life back. I'd take 10 shots, honestly.
Yeah, stick it in my ass, stick it over
Yeah.
whatever. In fact, I see all these people getting it in their arm, and it's like Michelle Obama today had a picture or something. I want it in my ass. And I want a picture of it too,
Well, it's funny because to bring it back to the pickleball thing, I play pickleball with a bunch of old people. So for like 3 months, I've been like the guy left out where they're sitting around doing vaccine talk, and then they'll look at me like, this isn't for you, you loser. You don't get one yet. So
we can't handle you.
They always ask me because they all got it. And yeah, I'm not scared of it. I'd give anything just to get back to regular life. Just concerts and sport events and doing shows and just being around friends and stuff. And you can give me shots where you can put it right between my toes, which I'm sure would hurt, but I'll take it.
That's what people put the hair on, sir. Fuck that. Ooh.
Not the hair on, but I'll take the vaccine.
Yeah. So, okay, you're talking about sporting events. You're a Broncos fan, yes?
Yes, sir. Die hard.
That was the first time I cried during a sporting event when your Broncos beat my Packers in the Super Bowl.
That was the first time I cried tears of joy instead of crying tears of disaster. Still probably, since I am not married and have any kids, still probably the best day of my entire life.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad we could share that same day in some sort of way.
Well, you got your chance. Well, I mean, I had gone through 3, as a kid, I think I was probably like 7, 9, and 10. So watching my Broncos lose those Super Bowls was devastating.
True.
So even that one, that Packers one, when we were pretty big underdogs, and I was, I think, like 19, 20 maybe. So I realistically, am I going to watch my team? But at that point, I started drinking. So I was like, well, at least if I got to watch us lose another Super Bowl, I can get just hammered. But then it ended up, I'll never forget, again, irresponsible, a long time ago, different rules. But I remember definitely getting hammered, and I was just driving home, just honking my horn nonstop, which I think is a bad idea when you're fucking wasted. If I, in hindsight, obviously never drink and drive, but maybe I was just letting people know, hey, get the fuck out the way. Yeah. But I remember everybody was, for us in Wyoming, everybody's pretty much Bronco fans. So there was just, I'd never been so happy. And I worked at a sports store at the time. So I was we got all the Bronco gear, and I got to go to the Bronco parade, and I'm sure it was rough for you, but you guys, Packers did all right.
Yeah, we're still all right, but
you're gonna win next year.
Fingers crossed. I mean, Rodgers. Yeah. Come on, let's be honest. Dude's a beast. I want to. Okay, so 2 of your most hated athletes. Okay, because I have mine. Mm-hmm. I'll tell them to you right now, off the top. It's LeBron James and Russell Wilson. Yeah. Those are my 2 most hated. LeBron because he's beaten my Indiana Pacers in such devastating fashion over the years. And Russell Wilson because he's a fake bitch. And he's also had his share of my Packers troubles. But if you could think of 2 that you could just eliminate from the earth.
It's easy. It's easy. Well, it's funny. Looking at all your Pacers gear, growing up, I hated Reggie Miller.
Oh, no!
I just hated Reggie, and I hated him. And the crazy thing was and then one time I ran into him. He was, this is a long time ago, like the first year of the WNBA. He's probably just retired. Maybe it's still in the league. I don't know, but he was like an announcer for the WNBA. And then he got, and I always said, man, fuck Reggie Miller if I ever see that dude. Because Reggie Miller, he lost his last game. His last game in college at UCLA, he lost to Wyoming. Oh. So I've always said I'm going to talk shit to him. I hate Reggie Miller. And then I ended up in an elevator with him. And then like a true bitch. You think Russell Wilson's a bitch. Let me tell you a huge bitch. His name Brandt Tobler. And I was like, oh, hey, Reggie, nice to meet you, big fan. Just a complete bitch move. But these dudes are way bigger in person. They're way bigger.
you don't realize it because he's so skinny. You don't.
Yeah. And then it's easy to, it's like they say keyboard warriors now. It was easy at home just to hate on him as a Jordan guy because I love Jordan. But yeah, it's so funny that once I got in that moment, I was like, this fucking dude. The same thing happened with LeBron. I talked so much shit about LeBron, and then I ran into him last year right before the pandemic at a bar. Almost the year to the day. And he came through. He just came around the corner, and you're like, oh my God, it's LeBron. Right. He's got these big old diamond necks. He's just such a big dude. And then the atmosphere just changed the second he came around this corner, and I was like, oh my God, like a little kid. I was like, oh my God, it's LeBron. Yeah. And then I gave him a high five and said, what's up to him? But again, I was always an anti-LeBron guy, always an anti-Reggie. And then for the longest time, I hated the Packers.
Damn it, man.
No, that's just because of a girl. I was in love with the girl. And then when we broke up, because then I became I was again a pussy whip little bitch, and I became like a closeted Packer fan because I was in love with this girl. And at the time, Broncos were pretty shitty anyway. So I would go to games with this girl. I hate to even imagine there's pictures of me out there with the Green Bay G fake tattoo on my neck.
Oh, shit,
and just embarrassing stuff as a Bronco fan. But I hated the Packers for a long time. But now I actually like them. I'm betting on them. I had big bets on them this year, and I'm already betting on them next year. I like Aaron Rodgers a lot, so I'm rooting for him. But so is Reggie, and then I just always hate the Raiders. As a Bronco fan, you just hate all the Raiders. And what I really hate is Ohio State. I just hate Ohio State fans. So I hate more teams, but Reggie was the original villain for me.
Damn. Well, Reggie's my fucking hero. As you can see, I got his
old
jersey. But, I mimicked my shot on the court after Reggie. Like that little crazy ass flick that he did.
Yeah.
And so that was my influence. And now to hear him, he goes on Dan Patrick's show all the time, and he's a hilarious guy. So,
he's a great interview. I always listen to about Dan Patrick. I think he tells great stories. He's very vulnerable. I like him a lot now. And it's crazy because when I played hoops, I talked a lot of shit. So I should have liked Reggie. He was. I love that. I love that style of player. So I was just on the Jordan train. Back then it was just Jordan against the world. So. Right. And then that's what kind of made me hate LeBron, because once Jordan retired, then I moved to Vegas. In Vegas, you get every Laker game just part of your cable. And then when I moved to LA, so then I was a big Kobe guy. Yeah. And then I argued that Kobe's better than LeBron. And then eventually I just had to concede and be like, okay, yeah. LeBron, as much as I hate him, he's incredible.
Yeah. That's the one thing I will say about him. I do hate hm, but much respect. I mean, the dude is amazing, but I still hate him.
And that's the thing. I try to explain it I had a few people in my life that they're just nerds. They don't really understand sports hate. So then I'd be like, I hate LeBron, and I'd root against him, and then they'd be like, LeBron does this for charity. I go, yeah, but this is not I don't hate him as a person. Yeah. But to make sports fun, you got to have people, so a lot of times when your team's out, then you want to, I like to root against LeBron. But now, I didn't like James Harden. Now I'm like a little kid too. I might switch and root for LeBron this year because I don't like James Harden and Kyrie in them. So it's different. I mean, I always hated that when people be like, when I'd be like, I fucking hate LeBron, and then people give me his resume. I'm like, okay, I don't really hate him. I don't want him. If I say I want him to die, I just want him to shoot bad for one quarter. Just relax. He's a great dude. That always makes me laugh.
I think part of it too. When I was in New York. I worked at a elementary school, and all the kids would come in with these, Dick de jour of whatever NBA player was doing great that year. It was just one year it was Steph Curry, and then second grade, I'm wearing the LeBron, and then the LeBron, and then now I'm going to whoever. But
that's why you can find a lot of Derrick Rose jerseys at the thrift stores now.
No shit,
they were on Derrick Rose for a while.
Dude, he was on point to be one of the best. Oh. It's a shame, to be honest.
Yeah, it really is. Well, you know what? Just speaking of the Packers real quick, I got to go, and that's why I miss sports. So last year, when we could go to games, last year I got to go to – I always wanted to go to Lambeau, and the Bronco game fell on my birthday in Lambeau Field. So what a
Damn.
what a great experience that was. That's another reason the Packer fans. I was like, this is just a cool thing. So the Packers, I've definitely come around on the Packers and Reggie. Yeah. And LeBron a little bit. I got to find somebody new to hate, man.
Yeah, I dig it. All right, so back to comedy. I want to ask you a hard-hitting question because you've been in the business, you've met a lot of people, you've been on all these podcasts. You had a whole podcast where you were just breaking down comedy, right?
Yeah. So Stand Up Explained. It's still out there. I think it's a good thing if anybody's listening and wants to do stand-up. Instead of spending a bunch of money on a class, you could just listen to my podcast for free. And I don't make any money on it. I'm not trying to plug it like that. I think it's really beneficial for people wanting to do comedy, and it's on like Spotify, iTunes, and YouTube. It's just something during the pandemic that me and my buddy Andrew, as a comic, you just love talking comedy. So that's why I'm always like, we do these talks. Let's just talk and try to help people because, as you know, you don't make any money being a comedian. So the one thing you don't need to do is spend $500, $800 for a class. You're going to need that money in the long run. So yeah, I did do. I'm very proud of it because hopefully it'll help some people.
Yeah, well, I just discovered it when I was, basically going through all your shit before this podcast, and I was just like, holy, like how have I not? I should have used this like fucking years ago, but it's awesome. What I want to ask you though, and I want you to name names.
Yeah.
Who's the worst comedian you've ever met? Or like the rudest, or just like, this guy was an rudest?
Asshole? This question, I don't mind answering it. It's just going to be boring because it's not going to be anybody that you know. I'll say this just up front. The bigger the comic I've ever met, the cooler they've been. The people that are dicks are just like just guys that didn't make it that are bitter. So, starting out in Vegas, there's a lot of guys like that were just, shitty. There's a guy that I've fucked with that went all the way to court. He got a restraining order and all this shit. So I'm not even going to put him on blast. The thing is, I don't even want to say these guys' names because they suck. I don't want to give them as lame of an answer that is. Let me try to think who was mean. Mean. Nobody. The thing is, we're all doing this together, like the second, you meet someone and they're like, I'm a comedian. I'm like, this is what I always tell people after a show. If you come up to me and like, hey, good show, I'll always be like, thanks, man. But if you're a comedian, go, hey, I'm a comedian. Then I'll say, oh, hold on a sec. Let me do this, try to sell my merch or whatever. And then if you want to talk, I'll talk comedy with you. And I got that from all the biggest comics. Like they've always, the second they found out I was a comedian, they were just so sweet and nice. So the worst comic would be, man, no one's really been a dickhead. A dickhead to me would be like, I want to give you an answer, someone that people know. A dickhead to me.
Rogan.
I'll tell you one time. Huh?
Rogan.
No, Rogan's great. Rogan.
He's
Rogan
like my hero.
Yeah, Rogan couldn't be nicer, man. The only thing I tell you about Rogan is he's shorter when you meet him. Rogan was cool. I'll tell you a good Rogan story is I got to go to some UFC fights. He would leave tickets for comics, and like one time a couple times Doug Benson brought me, and it would be like Russell Peters and Ari. And then a cool Rogan thing is after the UFC fight, he's like, I'm going to dinner. You guys are welcome to join me. But when I walk out of this arena, because all the fans are there, he goes, I'm just going to walk right to the restaurant. I'm not stopping. I'm not waiting for you. If you make it to the restaurant, you're welcome to eat. If not, I'll see you next time. And I was like, I thought it was cool because it was so, Rogan can't walk through the MGM like that.
Right.
And sure enough, he was just like shot out of a cannon, just and I followed him like a fucking, my life was on the line. Yeah. But he, Rogan has always been cool. And, a dude I didn't like, there's a dude, I didn't like Steve Byrne. And and again, that's probably my own fault. And then I did roast battle at the Comedy Store, and then he was one of the judges. And then I made fun of, I was like a dickhead to him. So really, I had this weird thing with Steve Byrne. I don't like Steve Byrne, but really, he didn't do anything bad to me. One dude, I'm trying to think of this guy's name. He would bring his wife on the road, and I fucked up his wife's intro, the feature, and then she yelled at me, and then he yelled at me. But again, that was probably my fault. God, I wish I could. No one's really been a dickhead to me, man.
That's actually a good That's a good answer. Then I just imagine there's like so much competitiveness, and come like when I did stand up in New York, it was like a boys' club. It was like if you didn't
Yeah.
know who was in charge of the bucket and who was putting the names in, you would go on fucking dead last, and nobody would be there, and everybody else would just laugh at everybody else's jokes, and like it was like they were all just it was like a circle jerk, and if
Yeah. No, it's definitely that. And I'd say that I'm really good at playing the game, which is like why I probably not had a lot of problems because I'm good at, I learned early, like some people like, man, I'm never kissing nobody's ass. I'm like, I don't know if it's kissing ass sometimes, but sometimes you just got to accept you're in a game. It is a competitive world. And sometimes you just got to play the game. So I'm good at like, and I'm just pretty good at just being chill. So I mean, there's a lot of people, I've seen famous people be dickheads to people for sure, but to me, no one has. So I don't. I'll come back on next time someone's a dick. I'll tell you who I have had beef with. I don't even remember this girl's name, but here's one thing I don't like is when the women comics, and I know women have it much. I'm not saying that they don't have it hard. I get all that, but one girl, she just sucked, and then she was like, I was opening for her here in Denver, and then she's like, I can't believe he's doing these jokes in front of a female headliner. And I was like, you bitches always say you don't want to be called, you're a headliner, just be a headliner. So shit like that's what I hate. Like my other fucking thing I hate is black girl comedians that are like, every fucking time they'll be like, oh, these white dudes are the worst. They're the worst fucking people in the world. And then about the 18-minute mark, they're like, except for this one, my boyfriend, he's a white guy. I'm like, you're so fucking, that's so whack, So I hate shit like that. It's like,
well,
if I think someone's shitty, I just stay away from them in the green room. Comedy Works here, and that's the thing. I'm so lucky here in Denver, the club, they don't really bring in anybody shitty because it's such a good club. Like, Wendy, the owner, knows if you have a bad reputation, she doesn't need you. She can get anyone in the world. So she doesn't really fuck with any bad or mean comics or anything. So we're very lucky here in Denver that, I get to work with all my heroes or people I look up to.
Yeah. Well, what you were talking about with like sort of that double standard where, a black girl shit on, or just a female comic in general, they want to be recognized as a powerful female, but then also they don't want to be labeled as a female comedian. They just want to be labeled as a comedian. Like,
yeah.
Do you think like that sensitive sort of cancel culture vibe is like getting out of hand? Like, have you noticed anything?
I think it was. I think it was, but I think the pandemic will help, at least for me, because I did a show the other day, and I realized like going into this pandemic, I thought without comedy I could never survive, and unfortunately I found out I didn't get to do stand up for like a year, and I didn't die. So I'm a lot more like, let's just let this shit fly. If you guys cancel me, whatever. But I even think as long as you build, like they came for people, it gets canceled as shitty comics. Like they came for Joey Diaz and some of them. I think you just got to hold your ground and say, hey man, I made some jokes. If I'm not for you, then I'm not for you. But you go beat it, go fucking whine about, because it is, the cancel people just move day to day. You can survive like that day or two. Yeah. I think the way to do it is just like, you can't do shit like these guys get in trouble fucking with underage girls or stuff like that. That you can't. That's you're in trouble. But with jokes, I have a joke right now where I say retarded, and I could tell the people get all weird, and then I'm like, but I don't really care anymore. Like I just don't care.
Retarded is one of my favorite words in the world. I'm sorry.
It's part of it.
I'm not talking about mentally disabled people. I'm talking about retarded people that are just a little slow in the head.
Yeah. So I think the cancel culture got too far at one point where then people are like, God, this is boring. You guys have really made comedy boring when you don't let them talk about it. Because I think maybe it was too far for some people. I don't ever think it's too far, but I could see where someone would be like, man, you guys are talking about crazy shit. But I think you should. I mean, I'll always defend that. But then I think it got so boring. It's like, so then I think it's coming back. But I think you just got to hold your ground and be like, you got to try to build your own fan base. Because if you're trying to make the whole room happy, you'll never do that. So part of me is like, yeah, so as long as, what you need is, and what we're lucky to have here is the comedy club to have your back, to take chances, when people stop taking chances and worrying about cancel shit is when they're worried about getting canceled by the club. That's what when the club's more worried about Yelp reviews than like a performer's, jokes, that's when you have problems. So we're lucky in Denver here. She trusts us, and she's the best. So I think that's how you eliminate the cancel culture within comedy. Is the club owners just have to have their comedians back and worry about that instead of stupid Yelp reviews or fucking Google reviews or all that dumb shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, do you have a headshot up at that place at Denver Comedy?
At Comedy Works? No, they don't really do headshots. I mean, there's nothing. There's no pictures of anybody really.
But do you have one up anywhere, in the country where it's like a younger version of you where you look sexy and you're like,
oh, yeah. I think there's one in Colorado Springs. I mean, luckily they don't do that much anymore because, first of all, they should because they're funny. But my first headshots are all just awful, so thank God they're not out there. But I didn't know what I was doing. Like one, I have like blood on I think blood coming out of my nose, and I have it right here. Look how ridiculous this is.
Oh shit! Like you just got into a fight or something.
Like I don't know why I have like a tough guy headshot, but with someone in Wyoming loves me shirt with blood on my knuckles and blood. And then I have one like on photo shoot day. I ran into a bunch of Mormon missionaries. I think I was in a banana suit with like 5 more, just stupid shit, So luckily I don't think they're up anywhere, and that's good because they're all. I mean, the headshot, I hate just all of that. Luckily the business kind of transformed, and you can just use like an action shot from stage is so much better because I hate when they're like, okay, just pose or smile. I just feel so uncomfortable.
Yeah, it gives me
they never look good.
Flashbacks from like elementary school and having to pose and like they would come and fix your arm and you'd just be like awkwardly staring and kind of smiling.
It's never fun. So yeah, but no, I don't think. Luckily for me, I don't think they're. I'm not. They put up the good-looking people. Luckily, so I'm good.
Do you think your beard is a crutch? And I ask this as someone that rocks the beard.
What do you mean? I know what you mean by crutch. Like, I don't know. It's just something I get. I don't have to. Well.
Do you hate what you look like whenever you shave it all off?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, same here.
yeah. So I don't, and I think my girlfriend would, and I just don't feel. I'm growing my hair for the first time in my life. I have long hair. I don't still know how to feel about that. I'm just doing it just out of boredom, really. But if I shaved at the start of pandemic. I'm like a weird dude that just shaves like if I have a bad day. Sometimes I'll just shave like it's a reset, and then that's an awful idea because then it just makes my day worse. Because I'm like, God, why'd you do that? You look like shit. Now you feel like shit. Now you look like shit on top of it. So I quit doing that. But I don't know. It's just become part of my. I go maybe once every 2 years. I just shave it off because I think I need to. But I got a fat. I get a double chin comes in, so I love to keep it to hide the double chin. So yeah, it's just part of the thing. I mean, I'm getting used to this long hair. It still weirds me out, but if I shave. If I shave, people don't even recognize me.
Right. Well, that's what I was thinking. Like your logo for your podcast, you got a beard on there, the cartoon guy. It's the brand.
It's just part of the uniform. Now I can't. When I do, I don't know if I guess like when we get married and stuff, I'd keep it. I think she'd want me to keep it. So. Luckily, she likes the beard, and that's all that matters, really.
I think that's what it comes down to. It's like whatever your significant other likes, you just go with it, All right.
It doesn't. If I bring it down, it's okay. But if I go clean shave, you'd be like, it just does not look good. It looks like one of those hairless cats.
Yeah. No personality. It's just like, what am I doing?
I just lose confidence without it. So I guess it is kind of a crush because if I don't have it, I don't feel as good about myself, so I just keep it.
All right, so last thing, I'll get you out of here. I have some dumb, stupid, ridiculous questions that
Let's do it. I love them.
Like you don't know. All right, so would you rather someone full-on puke on your brand new shoes or just have diarrhea splatter on your new shoes?
My own diarrhea?
No, it's someone else's.
Oh, I'd rather puke.
The puke.
Diarrhea is gross. Yeah. I mean, they're both gross, but... it's so, but yeah, I guess, to be honest, it wouldn't matter because I think you just got to throw them away either way. But if they're my lucky ones, I guess I'd rather wash off puke than shit. I've had shit. I shit my pants one time. In my favorite shoes, I was walking home. This is an embarrassing story. I was probably like 39 too. And I was walking home from a comedy club and I through LA and I shit my pants just down my jeans into my favorite like gold shoes. And then this is probably like 1:45 in the morning. So I got home and I had to shower. My roommate's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I'll tell you tomorrow." But I had shit in my favorite shoes. It sucked. I'm sure I puked on my favorite shoes. I puked plenty of times. So.
Oh yeah, no, I've gotten some puke splatter at least.
I'm the favorites. I guess you just wash them and hope for the best. But
yeah,
I got back into the shoe game, so I got a couple Jordans that I got. I don't know why I got them because I never had the balls to wear them. But if someone snuck into the back of my closet and shit or puked on them, I'd be pretty sad.
Yeah, it'd be a bad day. All right, so this one's controversial.
All right, I like that.
Would you rather blow your dad or fuck your mom?
It's blow your dad or fuck your mom?
Yeah.
Yeah, because we used to do it, blow your dad or eat out your mom.
Oh, shit. That's ramping it up a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, God. I would guess I would. I mean, I had to fuck my mom. I've never blown a dude, and I hate my dad so much. So I would, I guess I would fuck my mom. Doggy style, so I couldn't see her. Right. You know, I just pretend like it's some other old lady's back. But yeah, I would have to go doggy style. Fuck my mom.
Side note, your dad stole $80,000 from you. Why did you have $80,000 in cash at that time?
I worked for these professional gamblers, so I was a runner. So that was small money. I used to carry way more than that. So he got me on luckily he got me on an off day. I always had more than $100,000 with me. So he actually we got a little lucky. He didn't get more, but yeah. So I had a job in Vegas where I would just run around betting on sports. But yeah, to keep I try not to keep it in cash. At the end of the night, I would try to cash it out to be ready in the morning because I didn't necessarily know where I was going. So that's the only reason I didn't have. It definitely wasn't from comedy. I'll tell you that.
I was about to say. I was like, "Whoa, you got paid real nice in what, Vegas performing?"
Okay. Yeah. No, I was making a lot of money, but it wasn't in comedy. It was just in the like underground gambling world.
Yeah. Well, next time I have you on, we got to do a whole show on just gambling when football's.
Oh yeah. Up, man. I've been going. I've had some good luck lately. I had a fucking bet that. So I've been betting on DraftKings, betting these parlays, and all that was left was LeBron to win MVP. Now, this is about it was about 3 weeks ago, but it was LeBron to win MVP, which was looking good. I think it's still going to be close to him and Embiid, and then Packers to win the Super Bowl. And then the other 7 games won, I had Stanford, and fucking Stanford was up by 2, and the little white point guard who's like 83% had 2 free throws. If he'd have made those free throws, I'd have just needed LeBron, and then LeBron to win MVP, and then I had the Packers for $72,000. So I'd have been the biggest Packer fan in the world. But I've been killing them on. But yeah, we could talk sports gambling. That'll be a whole nother hour. But yeah, I got plenty of stories for you.
Well, okay, last question, and thank you so much for being on. But,
yo, of course, man. Thanks for having me. We'll do it anytime, man. Sorry I had to move it from yesterday.
Oh, no problem. Last question. What happens when we die?
You know what? I don't even know, man. To be honest, I don't know, and I don't even care, honestly. I really don't spend a lot of time thinking about it. I try not to think about anything I can't control. So to be honest with you, there's times in my life when I thought like you go to heaven or then like reincarnate. I think there are different points when I was younger, but it's probably a shitty answer that I don't even think about it because I just try to get through. Not that my life's that hard or anything, I just don't really even think. All that shit blows my mind. Like when you think about the universe, or that's all out of my brain. You know, I just don't even think about it because, like, I don't even know. So I don't know. I hope it's something. You know, I hope we meet. I'd love to see my grandparents again and all that. I hope, but then like logically, you probably just get cremated or bugs eat you underground. I don't know, honestly. I wish. I really don't know, but I don't mind knowing. That's the thing too. People are always like, I've done some questionable things in life, and I'm not super religious. But then I'm always like, if there is a God and I had to stand before him, I'd just say, hey, this is why I did this, and this is why I didn't believe it you this time. And
Right.
I'm like, I'm fine with that. If I do have to stand before somebody, I would just go, well, this is why I did this, or this is that, or I know I shouldn't have done that. And then I'd just be like, well, so I don't know what I do, but that's how I do it. So
Yeah.
I guess that's what I think. So either you go nowhere, or maybe hopefully there is like a heaven or somewhere I could see people that were part of my life. But if they'll let me in, and if they won't, I'll be like, yeah, I get it.
I get it.
I get it, man.
All
I
right,
get.
all right. I was an asshole.
I have no problem taking responsibility for my actions. So I'd say, well, whatever you need to do, just let me speak my piece real quick, because I'm good at talking. I just want one last time to try to talk. I've talked myself out of trouble my whole life. So I hope if that's the case, just at least let me give you a little quick pitch on why
Right.
I did some of these things. So who knows? Hopefully we don't find out anytime soon.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I took mushrooms in my early 20s, and ever since then, I've not been able to stop thinking about it and obsessing about it. So it's just like always something I'm curious what other people, how much space does that take up in your mind? For you, I'm very envious. I would much rather never think about it.
It takes up zero, man. It's just kind of one of those things of how I live my life. Like, once we get there, we'll just figure out a way to do it. That's kind of how I survive. So I guess, I mean, that's a lame answer, but yeah, I just don't. When we cross that bridge, well, I guess we'll figure it out.
Not lame at all. That's a strategy I'm gonna try to withhold after talking to you, Mr. Brandt Tobler. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Yeah, well, thank you. Let's do it again.
Absolutely. And I look forward to your Craigslist chaos. Everyone, go look it up on iTunes, Spotify, wherever. And Mr. Brandt Tobler, thank you so much.
Thanks, bud.
Peace, man.
See you, bud.